All right,
Oh my
welcome
God.
back. And
We keep coming
bro,
back,
you've
brother.
been sick.
We
Yeah,
keep
I have to
coming
keep,
back.
I have to keep fucking welcoming you back because you
I
keep dying,
keep
and you
dying,
keep
bro.
getting resurrected,
And
and somehow you're making it back for the podcast again. So everybody, welcome back to the show.
hmm
Today on CitizenBot, we got a couple of things lined up because I guess again, usually by now this episode is usually out for the week, but we've had a bit of delay again from social and technical issues that we've suffered throughout the week, especially in the life of Soibai here. He has just been,
been dead.
rolling and
Been dead,
and he
bro.
just got 1 feet in the grave and 1 feet out into the world of tech. So hopefully he continues to stay with us and kind of make it a couple of more decades with us.
As long as the
So
tech
yeah,
is
welcome back,
alive,
bots.
so will I.
What is on the agenda today? So we've got a
Okay.
couple of things. We're going to look at lab-grown diamonds. We're going to look at some micro mouse. There have been micro mouse competitions. My world has opened up to micro mouse competitions. We're going to look at the North Korean leader, right? His armored car. His armored. He's got an armored car, but an armored train that actually takes him to Russia. I think he went to see Putin. So that'll be a good little nugget to talk about, and a couple other things thrown in the middle over there. So the first things first is the Microsoft patent thing that you wanted to talk about. I have no idea, so I might take it away.
Yeah, all good. Hang on. Let me just share my stuff. Um, all right. So, so Microsoft, about 3 years ago, this was right at the beginning of the pandemic, right? They released a product known as the I think this was a product that allowed blind people or people who have vision impairment, it allowed them to see. The way it allowed them to see was it was an app on the phone. And I'm sure you've seen a lot of people do this where they have this app
Hmm.
and it would, yeah, just have a look at this. All right, so you understand the idea of what this app does, right? It's basically an OCR app that reads everything for you if you're a blind person or if you're like somebody who's vision impaired. I've seen like a whole bunch of different kind of apps that do the same thing in here in Australia. But for some reason, I don't think this actually took off because I didn't see this particular app here. And I think Microsoft themselves probably didn't feel confident enough to release this stuff. So what they've done now is they've incorporated that similar kind of technology into a smart backpack, which has like all these sensors and stuff built into it. And if I scroll down here, you'll see they've got like this backpack with probably GPS sensors or some kind of tech in there, which will tell you
Hmm.
don't go in that direction or stay off of this area. Or yeah, you're not supposed to go in there because it's out of bounds. In this case, stay in bounds. Um, so yeah, that is basically the news. So Microsoft is really pushing their whole AI driven, AI powered product line really hard.
Hmm.
And it's kind of like Dora. They're saying that it's like a Dora the Explorer style speaking satchel. So as you walk
Hmm.
around, it'll just start talking to you and say, "No, mate, you can't go there," or or if you're in like a foreign country, I'm assuming it'll try and translate whatever it is like you're standing close um, to help you or something. But that is the first piece of news that I found a little bit interesting. So I was like, okay, if you're a traveler, if you're somebody who backpacks a lot, this could be a very good companion for you. It could keep you out of
Right.
danger. It could keep you in like the safe areas. It could say, oh, well, don't go to that side of the city or
So
don't go
how's it
into this
different from
area.
a phone? Like, there are a lot of, Apple has a lot of services in place now.
Exactly,
Not a
exactly.
lot,
So
but a few. Yeah.
I think the only differentiating factor in this area is going to be Microsoft using its own, AI, which is ChatGPT, right? So it'll be GPT powered. That'll probably be the only major differentiation factor. And you're right. It could be, what is the difference between this and a phone? Well, maybe in this, because it's all censored and GPS powered and everything, it'll have a lot more of a, I guess, a unique experience, when you're using it as a piece of technology, rather than a phone, which is, you got to launch an app, then you got to wait for the app to load, and then, you have to then start asking the app something for it to, you have to prompt the app before it gives you something back. Well, in this case, I'm guessing it's going to be automatically prompting you. So instead of you having to interact with it first, it'll start interacting with you from the get-go.
Right.
Yeah, but this is like the new future, I think, where we're kind of heading towards, where we are now going to be we're going to be having tech incorporated into every single thing that we own to some extent. So there can be like a jacket.
Like smart fridges and smart
Not smart
glasses
fridges. Fridge, okay, yeah. Smart fridge. I mean, so,
I mean, we have smart fridges already. Yeah.
That movie, right? What's that? Arnold Schwarzenegger's movie, The Sixth Day, or something.
Oh yeah, I can't remember it.
Where he had where there was a fridge, right? There was a refrigerator, and he had this touch screen inside the refrigerator. It's like, oh, we're out of milk. Okay, he'll just on the refrigerator itself. It was like, do you want to order milk? And he just orders milk. So that whole thing, it's still not implemented yet, right? We are now in 2023. That movie came out, God knows when, sometime in the 90s. We're still not there yet, and I don't know if that kind of technology exists out there. If it does, I'm too poor to actually have that technology in my house. Okay, I don't know if that technology actually exists. Maybe some billionaire has it in their bedroom, in their house. Who knows? But that technology was supposed to be democratized. It was supposed to be in every single household, but it isn't. So hopefully we get there. But I think where Microsoft is trying to go in that direction, it's trying to take that first step where smart technology is integrated into something like a backpack in this scenario. But hopefully in the future we get these technologies implemented into your jacket, your cap or your wallet or
right. Clothing and tech, I think, it's been a while. I mean, there's a lot of improvement in terms of creating clothing using different materials, so that in swimming and sports and whatnot.
Or, material design.
Especially in climbing. No, not materialism. Sorry, materialism is there in terms of having quality materials. Material design. Sorry, I didn't get that earlier. But material design is something that I think in climbing and in harsh weather is also something that there's a lot of advancement.
I mean, you've got Uniqlo, right? Every time you go into Uniqlo, they have all these different material designs. They got airism, they have
recycled plastic, recycled plastic and everything. But I have a contention with that as well. I mean, there's now reports.
I mean, how much is it recycled? How much of it is actually recycled?
Skin cancer.
Oh, really?
How much is recycled? Yeah, people getting Lululemon leggings and all that. I mean, dude, there's a lot of stuff on the internet about it that it might be giving people rashes or skin rash is a thing. Like I get skin rash whenever I wear too much polyester. Over a while, I think I've realized that. So cotton, I think, is the most natural fiber.
Of course.
But tech and clothing, I think it's kind of hard because comfort is a big issue when you combine tech into it.
Yeah, but that's why Microsoft is going down the whole tech in accessory situation. So I think before it comes into our jackets, it'll be in other stuff. Many people buy wireless headphones, right? So maybe you might have ChatGPT within your wireless headphone, something along those lines. Once the compute power becomes cheaper, once compute power becomes so cheap that it's no point not having AI in your headset or something.
Right.
Something along those lines, which was actually quite disappointing.
Cool.
when Apple actually did their whole lineup a couple of days ago, right? And I looked at their whole lineup and I'm like, oh, there's nothing AI powered, nothing at all. I thought there would be something at least. I was like, oh, okay, fine. So this is a pretty stock standard Apple,
So in that regards, I think, I mean, back in the day, I think the phone was, when it launched in 2008 or 2007, around that time, the first iPhone was, I think, $399 or 499,
Yeah, whatever it was,
299,
yeah.
I don't know, around that. And now it's like what, 1499.
799.
Like, look at the.
Oh, yeah, 799 is the starting.
15th.
Yeah,
iPhone 15 is, where does it start?
I think it starts at 799. So that's like double the price basically of the original. The base model, the base model starts at 799.
So which
This
is the one that
American,
starts
right?
at
This is American
1500?
dollars, right? You're talking about American dollars when you say 399, right?
So which one starts at 1499? Is that the Pro?
I think 149. Let me just double check the pricing. I think 1499 is the Pro, maybe Pro Max. I think.
Yeah. All right. So while you're looking at that, I think another one I wanted to talk about was lab-grown diamonds.
Ooh, yeah. Okay, so the Pro is 999.
I know that you have. Yeah.
So the Pro is 999, and the regular one, the iPhone 15, is 799. Yeah. So 799 is your standard.
Double the price.
It's double the price, bro. Yeah. And the Pro is near triple the price if you really think about it. 999 from 399.
Well, check this out. So
lab-grown diamonds.
Diamond demand is falling so fast. Courtesy lab-grown stones, De Beers is cutting some prices by more than 40%.
Classic De Beers, bro. Classic De Beers.
Right.
You know,
So
the moment.
So aren't like diamonds are supposed to be forever? Like, isn't that what they call that?
Apparently not.
So, wow.
They're not. They're not meant to be forever, bro. That's a marketing. Okay, everybody on this call should know that diamonds are not forever. They are used in industries. They're used in the they're used in like the mining industry. You know those big giant drills that drill through earth, right? They have a diamond. What do you call it? They have like diamond drillers. The drillers are tipped with like all these little tiny diamonds all across the thing, and those diamond drillers, they have to be replaced quite frequently because the diamonds that are on there, they basically get completely wiped out. Okay, they become powder basically. So diamonds are not forever. That is the whole De Beers campaign. A diamond is forever. You know that whole thing about, you know, giving your woman diamond, buying your woman solitaires. You know that whole thing is just it's all marketing rubbish. It's all just
unless they're like really big diamonds, you know, big sharply cut, you know, those kind of diamonds, the ones that we see in those heist movies. Maybe they have some value, or even they don't have value.
No, none of them. No diamond on earth should actually have any value because it's a mineral just like anything else. De Beers Diamond Company, because of the way the diamond actually reflects, it refracts light in a very peculiar manner. It has I think it's called the refractive index. It has a very high refractive index, and when you cut it in a certain way, in a certain configuration, it gives you that nice sparkly sort of look. So it's like human beings going, ooh, shiny, you know. That thing, De Beers just took that and they made that reptilian part of the woman's brain go brr every time, like, you know, the way they advertised it. So nowadays, if like, you don't even have to like, nowadays people argue. They not argue. They basically just have to go like, okay, if I'm going to buy my woman a diamond, how many months worth of salary should that diamond cost? Like, that is where the conversation is right now. Rather than going, oh, it's just that is 1 month salary or 2 months salary or something. No, like bro, 6 months. Some people are going 6 months salary. 6 months to 6 to 8 months worth of salary is your average diamond like solitaire ring, right? Now, I was a bit smart. I was like, okay, I know my wife wants a diamond, so I just went to Dubai, bro. I went to Dubai, and I said, I'm gonna buy it from there. Yep. It's cheap. You know, it's literally like half the price of what you would normally find for a 1 carat diamond.
Yeah.
Which is my little poor ass. That's all I could afford at the time. So, but yeah, so at the end of the day,
look here. Yeah, end of the day, they are. I mean, as you said, they're all, you know, it's all bullshit. Up. Yeah. It's all bullshit, yeah. So De Beers is obviously a monopoly. So it says here, this is interesting. So lab-grown diamonds physically identical stones that can be made in a matter of weeks in a microwave chamber have long been seen as an existential threat to the natural mining industry, with proponents saying that they can offer a cheaper alternative without many of the environmental or social downsides sometimes attached to mined diamonds. Let's look at that. Let's see if the if women get involved with this, right? Like, because it's going to become a problem, right? I mean, a lot of jewelry has a lot of emotional value attached to it, but once people find out it's not been mined, it's grown in a lab, and that versus that will be cheaper, obviously, compared to a mined diamond. So now the problem becomes is that you're wearing a diamond, and people would want to know what the diamond that you're wearing.
Is
Or
it
you
mined
as
or
a
is it?
buyer would want to know is it mined or not, right? So it's
See,
saying that yeah,
you
go
can
for
have you can have arguments on both sides of the equation, right? So you could have De Beers Diamonds, who are heavily invested in the whole mining side of things, right? You could have them come out with a new marketing campaign, right, which says "Mine diamonds are the only diamonds" or some shit like that, right? And then you could have like the competition come out and say, "Remember, a mine diamond could be a blood diamond, but the diamond created in a lab has no one's blood on it," or some shit like that, right? Like if
Yeah,
they could come up with some
yeah,
kind of like some kind of amazing marketing campaign.
marketing, yeah, good for the
So
environment, good
yeah,
for
good
the
for the
for
environment, like
social cause, and all
yeah,
that,
yeah,
right?
and
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
donate we'll donate like a percentage of every single diamond sold to
So it says here,
these
rough
yeah.
diamonds between 2 and 4 carats that can be cut in stones about half that size when polished, yielding centerpiece diamonds for bridal rings that are high quality but not flawless. So, I mean, there's an interesting stat here, right? So, De Beers has cut price in that
Yeah,
category,
of
in this
course,
category,
man,
of
come on.
40%, which is bridal, all right? And it said the one-time monopoly still wields considerable power in rough diamond market, selling his gems through 10 sales. 10 sales, I don't know what does that mean. 10 sales each year in which the buyers known as site holders generally have to accept the price and the quantities offered. So I think they do
Okay,
it 10 times a year or something. That's what it means, probably. And
probably.
most of it is done in India.
Yeah,
So one of the clearest signs of traction being made by lab-grown diamonds is in their share of diamond exports from India, where about 90% of global
yeah, cutting and
supply is
polishing
cut
happens in
and
India.
polished.
Yeah.
So
So
lab-grown accounted for about 9% already in the country.
yeah.
It's picking
So
up.
what happens is the way the diamond industry works is you have these hubs. So like for example in Europe you have Antwerp, right? In Prague, I think. I think Antwerp is in Prague.
Yeah.
So you have in Europe you have Antwerp. Antwerp is like the diamond capital of Europe. You have India in India, I think in Bangalore, I think, or is it
It's in Belgium, right?
oh, there you go, in Belgium. Sorry, my geography is rubbish. So in India there is another place where there's hey man, I became a designer, not a geographer or somebody who actually understands
Yeah, yeah.
geography.
My,
Okay.
like just
By the way, my
another thing to
geography
keep in mind what he's saying. Yeah.
my geography isn't as
Man,
bad
everybody,
as those
dude, I
those
think your
videos.
geography is better than I think an American high schooler.
Most likely, yeah, most likely. I can definitely guarantee that my geography is better than an American high schooler because at least I know where Antwerp is. I'm like, yeah, it's in Europe somewhere. It's not in America. Have you seen those videos where somebody goes like, "Where's South America?" and the guy goes like, South America."
In the South?
South America. No, the guy goes like, is in Texas?
It's like, no,
It's
no.
in
I think there are
Texas.
questions like is South America a state
Yeah.
or a country, or a continent, and they go like, I'm pretty sure it's like the state, one of the states.
Yeah,
of
yeah,
United States.
yeah, something like that. Yeah, yeah, something like that. The
I
guy,
mean,
the guy.
political. I mean, the political side of in an ironic way. I mean, the CI does consider it their backyard or front yard. I don't know what you want to call it. So, right.
Hilarious.
But yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot of information in here. But I'm just
Look,
looking at the
every
amount of
time-
plunging of profits that has happened. The profits have gone into half for some of the companies
Yeah.
for this stuff.
Yeah. Look, the problem is that De Beers holds a monopoly, right? It completely holds a monopoly. So what happens, De Beers, classic tactic of De Beers is if a new diamond dealer comes into the mix, what De Beers does is it'll freaking crash the price of the diamond market. It'll reduce the prices so low that the people who are selling, the new company that comes out who's trying to make a profit from diamond sales, they can't make sales at that price. They can't sell their diamonds at the same price that De Beers sells it. So nobody buys it from them. And nobody buys diamonds from you, you automatically suffer a loss, on the profit and P&L sheets, right? of your company, you suffer a loss. When you suffer a loss, your shareholders go, well, why are we suffering losses? Blah blah blah. Who can save us? And then in a mass panic, De Beers just comes in and buys that company out. That's how this classic sort of Texas Hold'em style situation works, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then
Right.
and then now what's happening is De Beers is now facing this problem because it's no longer competing with naturally mined diamonds. It's competing with a diamond that can be made in a lab in a microwave in a couple of weeks. You just can't compete with that. That's an unrealistic level of competition. And they're probably losing their minds right now. The De Beers Diamond Company people, they're probably like, shit, man. Like, what do we do now? Like, do we get into the whole lab diamond situation? They might. You never know. And then they might have like two different product lines, like you said. They might be like, okay, here's the mined diamond, and here's the the fake diamond. You pick.
Right.
They both have pros and cons. It's up to you.
Yeah, all right. I mean, look, maybe if you are considering getting married,
Don't get
or
diamonds.
buying that ring for the missus,
Don't.
maybe gold
Gold.
based jewelry probably is a
definitely.
better option. But it's a very touchy subject, mate.
No, get
regardless,
gold.
it's
Bro, get
the
gold.
thing is that when it's an emotional gift, right? So a lot of women, I don't think so, are going to be deterred by the idea that
It's a fake diamond.
I do not want a diamond just because it's fake. It's if everybody wants it, they want it. I mean that's why. I mean, think about all the handbags that sell. You think they're selling because of craftsmanship?
Yeah.
Like what I
true.
mean. All right, moving on. Mate, I'm gonna show you the $32 million Rolls-Royce La Rose Noire Droptail.
La Rose Noire.
It's a pretty. It's a good. I mean, it's a good piece of engineering. That's the reason I wanted to show it to you, right? Give me a sec. So let me screen share.
But the product design
And
of this thing has to be top notch. Okay.
The design on this one is really, in years I've seen something so good.
I need to have integrated toilet seats inside the car. You understand? So I can take a shit anywhere.
For that price, yes. Yeah. And check out this guy, man. The way he is, like, I mean,
But then again, if I have that much money, I probably
he talks
have
like a
toilets
museum
anywhere.
curator,
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. So this is one of those, like, powerful French family, one of the elites of France, right? Who actually this is a custom car. It's completely custom made. Look at those seats, man. It's like, wow.
Welcome to a very secret corner of Goodwood, the home of Rolls-Royce motor cars. It's here in our dedicated coach build
Bro,
facility
pause it for a second.
that the first expression.
You know what he sounds like? He sounds like Jonathan Ivey when he does, like,
Dude, he sounds correct. He sounds like Jonathan
perfected
Ivey or one of those
our
curators.
unibody. We
Yeah, yeah.
perfected our aluminium unibody. What do you call it?
Yeah.
Manufacturing process through a whole matrix of understanding, from material design. But like the way like he talks, that's like
no.
it's like you have those pauses.
It's all basically. It's basically those guys who auction things off at Christie's.
No, auction
I think that is the predominant.
No. I don't think it's that. I don't
Style.
think it's that.
That is
I
the
think
style
no,
of
bro, no.
curators.
This is Jonathan Ivey, bro. This is Jonathan. Jonathan Ivey does that whole pause.
Yeah, but
welcome.
but before Jonathan Ivey came along, someone else was doing it, right? So I think traditionally,
Like Jonathan Ivey
popularized
popularized it.
Auctioneers.
Jonathan Ivey
Of course,
popularized it. Okay,
but
no,
it's something only
Chalo.
a British accent probably would do, or like one of those aristocratic accents. You know what I mean? Like, it would not fit the way his style of speaking. He being English, I think,
Yeah.
or
No, if I'm Desi, if I talk like that, they'll be like, man, shut the hell up. Get the hell
like,
out.
what's wrong with you, man?
What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you, man? How are you speaking? So check it out.
All right.
Next chapter of our contemporary coach building movement was handcrafted. La Rose Noire Droptail represents a bold, daring, and sophisticated personal expression inspired by the black Baccarat rose. Now, as a design team, the significance of creating the only modern interpretation of the Roadster body style.
Yeah, too much English going on this. I want to switch off the audio, let the video keep running, and we can talk about that. So
Can you
this
2x the
one is
video? Is that
basically-
possible?
Yeah. So that's the plan. So, mate, this one here is, I think, probably some, it is he said the customer is French, and it's one of those French, elite families who have actually built. It's completely custom made car for that French family, and I think it's like 32 million. If they're saying it's 32 million, I mean that's the total selling price. I mean, what do you think it costs to make a car like this one? I don't think so. They're making too much bank on something like this. I mean, probably it cost them 18
Look,
million,
if you-
25, 26 million to make.
No, I think.
How much is the profit on this?
I think the profit is considerable. I think definitely the profit is considerable because you have to understand cars, right? From once you have a base model of a car, you can then modify it to whatever extent.
Yeah, underneath I think the base plate, I mean the chassis, whatever is probably any other.
It might be a
normal
Phantom. You
Rolls-Royce
never
that
know.
they have.
It might be a Rolls-Royce Phantom
Yeah.
or something. It looks like because if you think about it, most Rolls-Royces, they look like giant road-going boats, right? They look like boats that are traveling on the road. So this particular Rolls-Royce might have some specific engineering done to the overall aesthetic of it. Like when you look at it, the aesthetic of it, it's definitely like something that might not be standard Rolls-Royce, but that's just the aesthetic, It's something that
It has a very roadster kind of a feel to it.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's got a very deep pocket. Like it's a very deep. You can see the seats.
Yeah,
I mean the
they're quite
doors
deep
go
in,
all
yeah.
the way up to the shoulders.
Like I said,
now.
it's a
pretty
road-going
deep,
boat.
the way they've done
It's
it.
a road-going boat,
Yeah.
basically.
And look at that paint, man. Look at that paint.
The paint work
job
is
on it. It
beautiful.
has
That's
that-
amazing.
It's beautiful, man. Under different parts of the light, it has that. It has a darker shade on this side, and then it's lighter on the top. So,
Bro, you paid 32 million for it. A paint has to be like top notch, right? Come on.
look at that. Even the emblem, the Rolls-Royce emblem, that's been embossed into the car. It's like, the back is beautiful, man. Look at that. I wonder if it does have sensors. I think
It has
does
everything,
have reverse
yeah,
sensors, but
32 million bucks, bro. You no sensors? Come on, man.
yeah, but I don't see a display in the cockpit. Like,
Does it have a cup
I
holder?
think it's one of those. Probably it does have a cup holder. I mean, you need a cup holder. 32 million. I think the cup holders are definitely something that they should.
Bro, in Porsche,
I think it
Porsche
does have-
GTs,
Man, where is the cup holder?
there is no cup holder. Or maybe there is a
probably
hidden cup
there.
holder. or
It's
something.
probably in the center.
Just keep
It's
playing.
probably
Just
in the
keep playing.
center over
It'll
there.
probably come up somewhere.
Yeah.
Just forward it all,
there you
yeah,
go.
there
That's
you
the
go.
back over there.
Yeah. I like the way. Look, I'm an industrial design junkie at the moment. Okay, so I've been
That's
consuming a
where the
lot of
camera is in
content.
the center at the back.
Yeah, no, it's all of them are cameras. So those are proximity sensors, and there's a camera there in the center. What's with the red
is
flakes,
nice as
man? In
well.
this thing, I just want to understand that.
I think red flakes is part of the design, but I think when it closes, this whole thing will, it's a convertible
It's
rooftop.
like a seamless thing.
That's what I think it is. Yeah. Look at that. So that's the thing, right? They still got those fucking big. That's what my crux with these. Yeah. No, look at the aircon.
Oh, the aircon.
vent.
Yeah.
It's they're still stuck in that fucking 90s. I mean, early 2000 design. I mean, I don't know.
But maybe it's more efficient, bro.
Yeah,
So when you're turning your air condition on, because it's got this massive, big, giant hole in the thing, it's able to like pump out more air, And
Yeah,
it's
but if
got
you're
the-
paying 32 million, right? The tech needs to be there. Don't you think that
The tech
it needs
is
to be
there.
a bit more tech?
the tech
But
is
what is
there.
the
It's
tech?
probably bro. That is a Rolls-Royce tradition. That big round thing. It's like a Rolls-Royce tradition. You want that. You're paying for that.
Yeah, and even the speedometer and everything, all that is all physical dials. Like it's like buying a Rolex. You're not going for
basically.
a smartwatch
Exactly.
kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can choose to go for like an Apple Watch, or you can choose to go for like the Rolex, which is all physical dials.
This
and
is what
everything.
it is. Yeah. Look at that. Wow.
Like I'm sure the same guy who paid like 32 million for this paid like maybe
From
10,
here,
20
the view is
million.
much better, I think. Yeah.
The same guy. Look
I'm
at
not
the
sure
look at the
about
center.
the whole flakes, the red flakes and all.
Yeah,
I'm
the
not
red
sure
flakes, I
about
don't
that,
get
but
it. I don't get it. But that's probably something that the customer was like, man, I want red flakes. I want this
They
polygonal red
must have,
flakes thing happening.
They must have been shown that, and
Yeah.
They must have been shown all.
Like whoever's the
look at the dials,
industrial
man.
designer, the industrial designer probably
if you
just
look
worked
at
through it.
look at the design and the each and every
It's like every element
on
was placed like by design, like
by hand. Yeah,
it's not printed, bro. It's actually like
not printed.
actual metal.
Yeah, just like a Rolex, man.
It's
That's
a
what I'm
Rolex
saying,
basically.
I
It's
think
a
we should do
rolling
watches.
road Rolex.
There was one.
Which is there you
I'm
go.
not sure what that
is
is.
Is that a watch?
You might need a bit of sound
Play
here. I'm not sure
it
about
again.
Where
Just
it will
play.
retreat back into the instrument panel and the straps can be stowed separately. And
Yeah,
then,
it's a
of
watch.
course, to the real showpiece of La Rose Noire, where it will retreat wearable on the wrist.
Yeah, it's a
Now, when
wearable.
the client is to itself, but moreover, fulfill the exacting wishes from the client that it should also be wearable on the wrist.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, when the client
It's
is
a
to enter the
wearable
car, they can
watch.
then remove the timepiece and place it into the clasp hold
Timepiece,
here,
yeah.
where it will retreat back into the instrument panel. And
Wow.
So if you have like so if you have $32 million Rolls-Royce, it should also hold your $5 million Rolex. That's the whole idea.
Watch. Yeah. Yeah, and the luggage and everything, and
Open the damn bag.
Oh, man, look at that.
Where was the
Yeah,
converted?
he
Where's the
did- he
conversion
did.
happened?
yeah. Oh, but he didn't show the conversion.
He didn't even show
They
the
just
conversion.
converted
God
it.
damn.
But even it looks like a rocket, man. Look at like,
It looks like
yeah.
it looks like a giant rocket.
that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Why they could never show custom-made cars in a James Bond movie? They never could. It'd be too hard.
Too expensive, bro.
expensive.
32
Look at that.
million
Too
bucks. That's like
expensive.
James Bond's. That's like
Look
a
at that
third of
color
James Bond's
match.
budget.
So it's got a black lining right in the middle of it, like it goes
Yeah,
from
yeah.
the bonnet all the way to the top and the back. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
And even at the bottom, like it has. So definitely great design, man. No doubt. Yeah. But things we could only dream of.
Dream of, bro. I won't even dream of this, bro. I'd be like, what dream? I got no money to dream, bro. I don't have enough money to dream that much, even. If I had money, then I probably would dream a bit more. It's okay. If I was Jeff Bezos, I could have dreamt that. That's fine, because I would have just shat that out in like one night. I'd be like, yeah, mate, give me a custom made Rolls Royce. Here you go, 35 million bucks.
Yeah,
Go
I
for
think
it.
I think the difference between people who have old money, right? So this was some family in France. The customer
Oh,
is
definitely.
from France who's placed
Old
this
money.
order. That's old money, right? This is old money buying stuff, right? People like I think Bezos and Elon Musk and those kind of billionaires, I think their driving part is actually not accumulating objects. Their whole thing, I think, is domination, beating the competition, creating new kinds of competition,
Yeah.
like winning races.
And then you
basically.
have
I
not
think
so
that's what's
old money.
driving them,
And then you have not so old money like Bill Gates, right?
which is
It's not new money, but it's not so old money. But Bill Gates is all about accumulating land. Like, he wants land. He wants all
he's
the
buying
in
land, but I
Australia.
think his main purpose
In the world,
his
sorry.
main purpose is that he wants to influence. He sees the world in a certain image, and it's like circuit design. It's basically like creating. It's like doing software. It's like programming. He sees the world as a program that needs to be debugged and some codes need to be rewritten.
Yeah. It's true.
Whatever that mindset is, right? So that his mind is basically looking at the big problems, and first of all, are they really problems? Number one, he sees them as a problem. You and me might not see it as a problem. And secondly, he's looking at those problems and he's thinking, how can I solve them? And he's using his power, which comes through money, obviously, and it gives him influence, right? And all combined together to work with the World Economic Forum, and there's a lady, Indian lady. She I think lives in Denmark now. Her name is Vandana Shiva. She gave interviews with Russell Brand. Is when I found out she was on the Russell Brand podcast, and she is an ardent defender of agriculture and
Oh yeah, I know
the
that lady.
tradition of
I know that lady.
and she's got a big bindi on her forehead.
Yeah. I
and
know.
then,
I've seen her.
she's written some books, and she criticizes Bill Gates so much. He criticizes his books, the things that he says, and she's got some valid criticism.
She's got beef with Bill
She
Gates,
basically just
basically.
calls him plain evil. She just calls him plain evil, that he's an evil person and he has evil intent. So with the vaccines, with the agricultural land, and what he's doing with all the seeds, and so that's a different area to get in. But moving on, micro mouse competitions, bro. On the day I think when you were sick, which was this Monday, I was just sitting on YouTube and I was thinking at night, I was just going through stuff, and somehow sometimes YouTube recommends you something to watch.
Yep.
And this is what came up, man.
9 times out of 10 is rubbish, but then that one time,
yeah,
it's
that
like,
one time
oh my
something
God.
really good gets recommended, right? Yeah. So this is known as so I subscribe to Veritasium, but I don't really watch every video that comes out. But this video really caught my eye. So let me fix the speed up a little bit.
It's normal. Oh, there we go.
Can finish this maze in just 6 seconds.
Boom!
Every year in the world, people compete in the oldest robotics race. The goal is to get to the end of the maze as fast as possible.
The person who came second lost by 20 milliseconds.
Wow.
But competition has grown fierce.
When somebody saw my design, they said, "You're crazy."
Why is there so much tension? What's riding on it? Honor?
Honor?
So a bunch of geeks, mate, they have gotten together, okay, and built this robot. So, I mean, I would highly recommend, we'll put links in the chat.
Yeah.
Highly recommend people
Watch it.
explore this, and watch this whole, I mean, there's so many videos, but I think just to open up yourself to that world of what's going on here is watch this documentary. It's very well put together, 25 minutes. I think couldn't have done a better job. Perfect. I watched the whole thing end to end, and it was so captivating when I watched it. And it's basically a competition where it started in the 70s. And what it does is that people have to solve a maze. So you have to create a robot, and that robot has to solve a maze. But the robot cannot be connected to the internet. Cannot have any outside influence. You cannot control it.
So it has to have its compute unit on it.
Whatever.
That's it.
It has to do the compute itself. It has to learn the walls that are around it itself. It has to navigate the maze itself and solve it in the quickest time possible. And people over the years have come out with all these ingenious ways of like solving the maze as quick as possible, if it makes sense. And the way they've done it is upgrade the wheels, upgrade the circuitry, install new kind of sensors. And man, there was one guy who had a fucking vacuum suction, a vacuum cleaner. Like it creates up force, So what happens is when the robot turns around the corner, no, it doesn't jump. You're not allowed to jump through walls. So when the robot takes a turn on a corner, it's like a Formula One car. It's actually stuck.
Okay, I see. So it gets stuck and then it makes a turn. Yeah, it's like okay. So that's it's like the 1989 Batman movie, right? Like where Batman when he's taking a corner, he shoots that thing. It goes around. It grabs like the corner thing, and then it makes a turn, like a 90-degree.
So this
turn,
one is
like
using physics. Obviously, I think it's
suction
called
power,
downforce. So it creates extra suction power. Because of that, the car doesn't slide off.
Yeah, okay.
And the ingenious stuff that people like over the documentary, you'll see like all this ingenious stuff that it's the competition is on milliseconds, and it shows how that as robotics is and it's the best. Probably one of the best ways to, if you have a kid and you want to get them into robotics and AI and machine learning and all that thing, it's an amalgamation of all that programming, coding, circuit design, robot design. It's brilliant. It's very geeky and nerdy, but it's
that's
basically
what you need,
a mouse.
You need geeky and nerdy.
It's like a robotic mouse that actually runs around. And I think the idea of it comes from a Tom and Jerry. There is a Tom and Jerry cartoon. In which there's a robotic cat. There's a robotic cat that comes over and he replaces Tom. And it's a red color robotic cat. You should have seen those classic episodes.
I remember
cartoons. And the robotic cat, it actually makes the mouse's life hell as well. And Tom is obviously not happy because his owner is like gonna get rid of him.
No, the owner kicks him out. The owner actually kicks him out.
Yeah, the owner does kick him out. So I think they work together to figure out, okay, let's conceive a plan, all right, and figure out, okay, how we can beat this great episode. But I think that I think it comes from there. So I think it's mentioned in the documentary as well. But the maze, and there's diagonal walls and everything, and it is really captivating. So I think not much to talk about, but I think that inherently this is the root of where hackathons, where competitions of this kind, they come into being. and why have these competitions, right? So, I mean, most hackathons are done by vendors, like, Amazon Web Services does it. Most
Everybody
big
does
tech companies, they do hackathons, right? There are hackathons for different causes as well, like climate and non-for-profit reasons or whatever. But I think that this one here is something where a person works around the clock, around the year, and they compete. So the biggest ones, I think, are in Japan. I think one in Europe. I think Germany. I'm not sure, but Japan is like right on top. Like where this is where all the competition. People travel from around the world to compete in these competitions.
RoboWars also happens in Japan. Like the biggest robotics.
I was about to come to it.
Right?
So the next one, have you seen these, man? That's another one. RoboWars was another one that came across. Not now. Like I've known about it for a while, but I kind of feel that from a robotics perspective, from a smarts perspective, I kind of feel that.
It doesn't need to be that smart.
Autonomous though.
No,
it doesn't need to be. Plus
it's actually driven by the human being.
Outside who are controlling it. So, right. So I think, like for example, here, if you look at this one here,
charge 4, 3 versus Jade.
If you look at this one here, check this out. Look at that, and the commentary around this stuff that you hear, right? Like people come out with the most crazy. Look at the.
It's just destroying
the floor. It's actually cutting through the floor, man. Look at that.
This is horizontal.
It's cutting through the floor.
And that guy is like scared, bro. He's like, nah, mate.
Yeah, I know. It's like, I know. And the commentary on this thing. Like, so I think the exciting part is this stuff here. You know what I mean? Like the commentary and the robotics. It's got a human being behind it who's kind of running the whole thing. The theatrics. Yeah. It's more bit of a kind of a small level spectacle. Look at that, man. That's like a fucking lawnmower, bro. It's going on. It's like it's one of those like chainsaws. Like at that. Yeah. Far out, man. Look at that. And that is where I think the tension is. That's where you're watching. So I think it did engage, and then look at that, man.
Bro,
got shredded.
There'll be nothing if engagement actually happens. Oh,
look at that. And then it actually picked it up. Look at that.
Oh, he destroyed the
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's a crusher. It's a crusher. It crushed the machine. Oh my god. Look at that.
Okay, all right, bro. That was good. That was really good.
And look at the name, Depth Charge.
Depth Charge.
Look at the commentator. It's like watching a UFC fight.
It's like watching
he
actually broke the glass, bro.
That was man.
That was dangerous,
man.
bro.
That's dangerous, man.
Dangerous, bro.
It is. Look at that. Look at
the other guy won. He's won. He's like spinning. He's like, I won. I got it first.
I mean, there's a reason why competitions matter. Like, there's a reason why, I think that, it drives people to become better.
It's something visceral, It's about the human condition. It's like a visceral thing, Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah. Completely.
Yeah. So, micro mouse competitions, robotic wars that are happening. I think that was interesting that I did, I was just hooked, man. And I was watching one after the other. Yeah.
Bro, I want to look at that North Korean thing that you were talking about.
Yeah, we're going to do the North Korean thing. And then I think we need to call it a day.
I think we'll wrap it up. Yeah, okay.
Because I got, wrap up after that. So I'll show you something, man. This was interesting. So I was going through ABC News. Just catching up on the news, and I saw
catching up on them deeds.
Kim Jong-un he is traveling in his luxury armored train to Russia to meet Putin, right? And now, more than the political climate as to that he's traveling from Pyongyang or whatever, I was more into trying to get images of like what the train looks like, how many boxes it has, and how long is the journey. But it's about, I think, 20 hours, probably more than 20 hours, but I'm not sure. It says that, it's a 20-hour journey. I didn't know Korea was that close to Russia. Again, my geography is very weak. But if you look at, that's the armored train. And the way it runs is there's a train in the front and there's a train at the back. And if you look at this here, this is also, I think, a Russian plane that they've converted. But look at this one here, man. Putin. He's sitting in that. He's got his own, I think.
He's got his own train. I got my train.
Yeah, that is his train. This is his train. But I would like to see what, I've scoured the internet, to look for, what pictures are available. but I could not find anything.
Of course,
But it
bro,
was just
how can you
nice
find
to see
it?
that it's about 200 people traveling. Okay, and its maximum range is 9,200 kilometers. That's the plane. That's not the thing.
Oh, that's the
So
plane.
They looked at it. Yeah, that's the plane over there, right? But I was actually trying to figure out, what's inside the train, any photographs, but they don't have any, only from the outside. But thing is that apparently people are saying expensive wine and armor plating. But how much can you trust Western news? Because they have a kind of an anti thing against Russia and those people anyway, so it's kind of hard to.
Or replica carriages on display.
It says
somewhere,
that they have 90 special carriages in total that operate 3 trains in tandem when a leader is traveling.
Okay, interesting.
So they got one in the front, one in the back to protect the rails or whatever, so it doesn't derail. And it's got flat screen TVs and stuff like that inside. So
of course, only the
look at
best
it, man.
for
Look how
the
shape
supreme
and
leader.
clean. Only the best for the supreme leader, man. But you can go visit and look at Kim Jong train, the older metro trains that that are there.
It says decked out
I
as
think they
office
have
as.
that.
Scroll up again. Yeah, okay, hang on. Stop. So, scroll down a bit. Scroll down a little bit.
Yep.
Alright, it says, okay, just above this photo. Oh, hang on. Bro, I just want to look at the piece above the photo. That's it. So if you scroll up a little bit. Buzz. Okay. Just above the photo, it says decked out as offices. The website said they contain desks, comfy furniture, and a number of luxuries. Kim Jong-il's even includes a MacBook sitting open. MacBook, bro.
Yeah, but I'm not sure how much I trust that. I'm not saying that ABC
Of course,
News is
I
not-
don't, of course, but
not-
I'm saying they made like a huge deal about a
I don't
freaking
know how much I
MacBook, bro.
trust all this, like the way, they don't have any photographs on the inside, but then they're telling us that all that stuff sits inside. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I
you're
know.
telling us that you have full screen TVs, and you have, they've got one photograph which is of Putin, comparing that to what he might have. So, but I'm sure, if not now, in the past, 100 years ago, 50 years ago, there are trains like that. If you look at the what's that Russian, the Oriental Express, right?
The Oriental
that goes
Express,
from
okay.
Turkey to that movie, the Agatha Christie movie, book is there as well, the Murder on the Orient Express. So that kind of So there are pictures of
these luxurious, opulent trains, you mean?
of these legendary opulent trains that royalty used to travel on. Definitely, it exists, but I'm not sure whether Kim Jong-un has all that stuff that they talk about. But it'll be interesting to see, looking at custom cars, custom trains, custom planes. It's like the Air Force One is there. So I wanted to look at
because
more photographs.
recently,
I couldn't find any.
Recently I've been like really into like industrial design and stuff, like looking at like cars and trains and planes and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know, maybe as time goes on, as I get more deeper into this world, I recently bought this book, which I would highly recommend everybody read. It's actually a pretty good book. It's called The Design of Everyday Things by a guy called Don Norman, who is the father of UX design, basically. It's so your mind, like my mind is right now kind of being molded into like a slightly different, like every time I look at the iPhone now, I go like, oh, what manufacturing process was used to create that curve, that comes right before the cameras come in there. So I'm kind of getting into that zone, and I guess the more our podcast this show progresses, not podcast, sorry, show progresses, I'll be
It's a
able
bit
to
of everything.
bring more. I'll be able to bring more to the table, and we can discuss more shit. Hopefully, if I don't keep getting sick, if my son keeps me alive, I'm trying to keep him alive, but he's trying to kill me for some reason. Okay, so if my son will allow me to stay alive, in the next couple of years or next couple of decades, you will actually see more and more of that kind of content as well. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. All right, brother.
All right,
I'll talk to you soon.
sure, man.
Gotta head off to normal life now.
Normal
All
life.
right, and we'll see you next week, everybody. Thanks.
Hopefully.
Cheers.
All right, thanks.